everyone. My name is Sushain, and welcome to yet another episode of the Flag Goes Up podcast. First of all, we all hope that you're keeping safe amidst the rising cases, and we sincerely hope that the football and our lives continue the way they have been going so far. And talking about football, the we are finally through to the halfway point of the season. We are through the festive period. We finally have a breathing space now since the FA Cup this weekend, and the Premier League will resume obviously next weekend. But we're finally through the halfway point, as I said, and the table is finally shaping up to what it could look like during the end of the season. Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal occupying the top four spots, Norwich, Newcastle, and Burnley occupying the bottom three spots. And of course, I have here with me Shivang and Gurjot, and together we will be talking about how the Premier League table could look like at the end of the season. Obviously, Manchester City look like they are, chasing, they are, trying to break away from the chasing pack. At the bottom of the table, it's very tight. It could go either way, but so let's just start with from the top of the table. The top four teams currently occupying the top four places: Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Arsenal. Any surprises there, guys? Did you, before the start of the season, do you think that this would be the top four teams when after 19 or 20 or 21 games, after the midpoint of the season, halfway point of the season, or does the top four teams, or is there any team that is surprising you currently? Did you think that
Definitely, Arsenal surprised me, man.
okay. So
Occupying the fourth position.
so let's just start with Arsenal then. Let's just start with Arsenal. What surprises you? I mean, being an Arsenal fan, you would have been optimistic at the start of the season that okay, we will be, let's just try for a top four place this time around. So why do you say that
I'm
Arsenal has,
optimistic
has
since
surprised you?
2006. I'm optimistic since 2006.
That's a lot of
so
optimism,
so so
Gujot.
so let's talk about Arsenal. I mean, obviously, the start of the season was very bad. I mean, 3 games played, 3 games lost, 0 goals scored,
God, yeah.
9 goals conceded, bottom of the table. Where did Arteta? How did Arteta turn this around?
Yeah, man, Arteta did a very good job after those first 3 games. I was Brentford. I thought that yeah, shiny new stadium, the place was rocking. So COVID cases. So I just swallowed that pill. Okay, chalo.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
after City one, I was like, it's going nowhere because 2 8th place finishes with Arteta. I didn't see any progress going through. But after the new players came in, our back five is completely changed, and
yep,
now I can see an identity with Arteta how he wants to play, and it's really refreshing. The new players, Tomiyasu, Ben White, Aaron Ramsdale, these players have just hit the ground running, and I'm very excited to see where this club goes because we have we have the most young side in the Premier League. So yeah, if these players can keep their head down and work hard, I think we can go places in the coming years. Not right now, in coming years.
yep. All right, but the additions that have happened, I think they majoritarily happened in defense. With the arrival
Yeah,
of Tomiyasu and Ben White, the front six. If we talk about the front six, the midfielders and the offensive players up in front of them, they've been the same. So I mean, I don't the it's just the addition of two players. I don't think the addition of two players can just change the whole system. Because what I felt was that Arsenal had good players last season as well. In obviously Bukayo Saka, MLS Smith Rowe, good young players, but they did not have anyone to look up to in that dressing room.
yeah,
So how did that change? Because their senior most player, their the club captain Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, I mean, obviously he was stripped of the captaincy after some
yeah.
in disciplinary issues. I mean, but that problem is still there. The young players still don't have anyone to look up to. So, how do you think they are being man managed by Arteta? I mean, having a senior presence in the dressing room obviously helps the young players, but in
Yeah.
case of Arsenal, it's missing. but the players are still performing. I think Emile Smith Rowe has somewhere around 8 goals. I
8
think
goals in the
more
Premier League. Yeah,
more than more than Harry Kane, more than Lukaku.
Bruno
I don't know.
Fernandes.
More than Bruno Fernandes, more than Cristiano Ronaldo. How many goals does
Yeah, yeah,
Cristiano Ronaldo have?
6 or 7, I
6 or
guess.
7
Six or
every
seven.
time. Yeah.
So I mean, if you're
He's
outscoring Cristiano Ronaldo, I mean, you must be having some sort of a season. So talk us
yeah,
through
yeah.
that. Talk us through that. How do you think the motivation of these young players is being managed by Arteta?
I think the major point is that because these sort of players that you mentioned, Emil Smith Rowe and Bukayo Saka, they have been through the academy. They know what it means to play for Arsenal. So I think the
Yeah.
players have matured. Saka has been in the team for 2 years from now. Emil Smith Rowe is last after Christmas. That was his first patch of games that he played for Arsenal. When he played, I think Chelsea was the first game that he started with Mikel Arteta as manager. So I think
Hmm.
that was the main reason because these players know what it means to play for Arsenal. They have been in the academy. So yeah, as you said, that they don't have player to look up to yet. Yeah, I think that is one of the major key things that I was looking when all the transfers that we all the business that we did, that there is no that experienced player that these young players could look up to, that this is the level that I want to achieve. So yeah,
Absolutely. Yep.
but yeah, I think but the sort of model that we are planning is for future years to come, so that these players could develop into world class players and we can achieve something in the future.
So, all right. So where does Arsenal go? Where do Arsenal go from there? From here, I mean, currently sitting in
I think
fourth
we
place. Do you
should
think they
stick.
can?
I think we should be here only fourth because I don't think Arsenal. I think the gap is too much between the front three, the big runners. I think we have to be the best of the rest to get into that Champions League position because I
Mhm.
desperately want some Champions League football, and
Yeah,
because we won't even if we get Champions League football, then we can attract that sort of a player, that marquee signing, that 25, 26-year-old player that these players could look up to, that yeah, this is the level that I want to achieve. So Champions League football is really must. And yeah, I think we are in a strong position, but this is a young squad. Things go up and down as we have seen throughout the season. There are 4 matches we played that everything is good, everything is hunky dory, but matches like Everton that make you realize that this is a young group
there's
of
still a lot
squad,
of
and
work to do.
there is still a lot of work to do and a lot of inexperience as well. So I hope Arsenal stay where they are and we can finish at the fourth position. I've been missing home. Fourth position.
Yep. All right. So talking about Arsenal's tactics. I mean, obviously, we don't watch every game of
Yeah.
our. We only watch the every. I mean, all the games of the team that we support. In case of Arsenal, I haven't watched them as much as you would have this
Yeah.
season. So the tactics. The way Arteta sets up his team. Is it the same as it was during last season, or do you think there are some tweaks in there as well?
There are some tweaks, but when I see the match as a whole, I can see that there are a lot of similarities. Granit Xhaka, the way Granit Xhaka plays is that he covers Kieran Tierney. This was the thing
Hmm.
that Arteta used to do last season also, that Tierney used to bomb down the left hand side and Granit
Shaka
Xhaka
used to
used
drop
to
in that.
cover his place, and Partey used to be the only holding midfielder that used to dictate the play. So
Okay.
in that aspect, these things are the same, but since there is a lot of young players, the exuberance is a lot of there because there is a lot of running
Hmm.
for the players like Emil Smith Rowe, Bukayo Saka, Martinelli. They run a lot. Aubameyang also he runs about, but not as the amount of enthusiasm that Martinelli shows on the pitch. I think we were playing Southampton. The second goal was just because of his enthusiasm. He just snatched the ball at the halfway line, distributed to Lacazette, and then he swiftly passed on to Saka. And there we were at the Southampton's penalty box with 3 passes. So I think at that aspect there is a lot of difference, but yeah, through the core it is still the same from the back line to the front.
All right. All right. Fair enough. Shivang, has Arsenal surprised you as well?
Absolutely. Like who wasn't surprised when they were, at the 19th position, I believe. Yeah. at the beginning
Yeah.
of the season, and
20th,
then
brother, 20th.
okay, 20th, right? So from 20th they climbed out, to the fourth one, and they're like, okay, we are here, we belong to this position, and we are going to play like this
Yeah.
only. And the major factor which we all discussed, already discussed with Gujot as well, is like the blending of the youth with the experience. Like still they don't have the as much as experienced players in the squad. Like there's only Granit Xhaka is there. So it was like the correct blend of youth with experience. So that makes a team successful, go on to win titles, at least
Yeah.
not in this year, but in the successive years coming years. So these important factors need to be there in a very successful squad. And still there are young players, there are hugely talented players. Like we discussed about Saka, we have Martinelli also, who has been phenomenal this season. I watched his last game against City, though the second half was not as expected as from an Arsenal or a neutral fan as well. But the first
Yeah.
half of the game was absolutely phenomenal. They played like they
Post
meant
Man
business that
City,
day.
man.
Yeah, exactly. They were in the mood for the game, and they were really dominating that game. So yeah, the young players, they are giving their part. And Rajat also mentioned about Ramsdale and the other signings, but I think Ben White has also been a very good, effective signing in
Yeah.
the back position. I remember that there were vivid comparisons between Varane and Ben White. Like he was signed 50 million, Varane was signed for 30 million, and all those stuff. But now we can see Ben White is sitting at the fourth position, Varane still struggling with his injuries. So it
Yeah.
still hurts to, being a United fan, it hurts, but yeah, that's what it is. I think how the like the games proceed throughout the season, and we'll get to see how the table shapes at the end of this current season.
So obviously, it will be about the consistencies, and I think the biggest worry for any Arsenal fan would be the little inconsistencies, in
Yeah.
performances that they've seen,
How do you feel,
losses.
fellow Londoners?
I mean,
Rivals.
obviously, it is surprising. I didn't think Arsenal would be anywhere where they are
Near.
right now, even before the season started, and obviously after the first
Yeah.
three games, there was no chance that Arsenal would be where they are, after 19 odd games. So I think it is kind of surprising. I think credit goes to Arteta for the kind of job that he's done. Obviously, their record against these top, the teams
Yeah.
above them, and their I think the only their only win against the top six team has been against Tottenham. They've lost. Yeah, I think they've lost to
Yeah. Yes.
Liverpool.
Against Tottenham.
Yeah, so I think there's still some work to be done there, but yeah, it doesn't matter if you're trying for that fourth place. If you're
Best
losing
of
to
the
the
rest.
three teams, yeah, if you're
Yeah.
losing to the three teams above you, it doesn't matter as long as you beat the 16 teams that are below you. All right, fine. So I think pretty much done with Arsenal. I think if the only key areas where Arsenal need to concentrate would be the consistencies, and if in case they're not able to beat the teams above them, they should definitely look to beat the teams
Yeah.
below them in order to secure that fourth place. Yep, right. So talking about the third place teams now, Liverpool. Uh, what do we say about them? I mean, obviously they were the one of the favorites to win the championship, win the title, win the Premier League when the season started. But how do things look for them with Salah and Mane off to AFCON, and uh, I think that they're the only two players missing, and I think Naby
Naby
Keita
Keita
as well,
as well. Yeah.
Naby Keita
Yeah.
as well. But I think they'll cope up. I don't think they have enough quality to beat teams without Salah or Mane. But I mean, it'll depend for the duration for which they are at the international duties. But how does Liverpool's season look so far, and going forward?
Yeah. They started off very fast, man. But they started off really good. I think they are the ones that have scored the most goals in the Premier League, if I'm not wrong.
I
But
think it'll be
yeah,
Manchester
It
City.
is it's Man
and
City, yeah.
Manchester City. Okay,
But yeah,
But
okay.
they
Salah has been.
Salah, Salah
top
is
scorer.
scoring goals. Yes, is scoring in every match. So
Yeah.
yeah, but that defeat against Leicester City did hit them very hard because yeah, that points drop was no one expected them to lose against Leicester City because the sort of the season Leicester City was having. But yeah, but I think that it will affect them a lot because Egypt is considered one of the top favorites to win the AFCON, and if they are there about in the semis and finals, so Salah will be missing till the start of February. So I think
Okay.
Mane and Salah will be a huge miss because they will only have Jota. Divock Origi is useless. Minamino is also not given. Minamino has not also proven himself, and I think they also have injuries. Van Dijk, I think, has COVID as well. So
Ah,
yeah, I think that Liverpool will. I think it will be a toss up between Liverpool and Chelsea, who will finish second or third.
Most
no, but
probably.
Yeah,
I think but FA favors Liverpool a lot. I mean, they're it's what I feel. I don't think
yeah,
You're right.
I
You feel
mean,
the right thing.
obviously, it's you might say this because I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm saying this, but this has happened for more than often now. I mean, they
yeah.
request for a postpone, their matches get postponed. They request for
Carabao Cup
something.
semi-final as
Yeah,
well, man.
I think I forgot the referee's name, but the video assistant referee for Chelsea versus Liverpool that ended 2-2 was one of the referees who had, Liverpool did not have a good record with that referee in charge. So they moved that referee for another game. And that was at the last moment. I mean,
They
Anthony
can do
Taylor
that.
was,
I didn't know that.
I don't know. I mean, it happened. Anthony Taylor gets all the Chelsea matches. I don't know for what reason. And I think I
Right.
have no idea why the FA goes about protecting Liverpool, but I
You
don't know. I don't
Yeah,
think they are
it's
going to be
ridiculous.
challenging
did,
for the title. I don't
didn't
see
you
Liverpool
didn't
challenging.
you hear
Yeah.
that joke? It was recently in the media, like Liverpool, all the games till AFCON is over. All the games will be postponed because they're missing the
I mean,
two
it
most
could be,
important
it could
players.
be, it
It
could
could
be,
be,
it
Yeah,
could
yeah,
be,
man.
it could be, it could be.
exactly.
You cannot rule that out. I mean, Klopp has COVID. Klopp's assistant, who was
Has
in
COVID.
charge for that Chelsea match, got COVID.
Got COVID, yeah.
Allison had COVID. Van Dijk, I think, got COVID recently. So it might happen, but where do we see Liverpool season going from now? I think they will comfortably finish in the top four. It's
Yeah,
about challenging Manchester City if they are able to.
I don't see the
I don't.
challenge now, though.
Yeah,
Now, Gurjot, I still don't feel the challenge will be there. Maybe a
yeah,
second or third spot, like Gurjot mentioned. There will be a shuffling between the second or third. I believe Chelsea still has played one more game than Liverpool. So the
Yeah,
point difference
one
is
more
there.
match.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
Liverpool has a game in hand, and if they win, they go above Chelsea and to the second spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still see City winning the league. They're running away with the league already. And then Chelsea and Liverpool for the second and third spot, respectively, or vice
I,
versa.
I think that Mane and Salah missing will also play a big role because most of their goals come from those two only. Yeah, Jota is there, but I don't think Jota alone can do most of the stuff,
But
and
what
so they
about
don't even have Crystal.
Firmino? What happened to Firmino? Where is he?
But
I
Firmino
think
can't play on
he's
the wide. Firmino
No,
can't play
yeah,
wide.
right. But he's missing, like he has been missing games, right?
Jota has been scoring so many goals. How can Firmino come into the team? And he also has been injured for quite a while, I guess.
Oh, right. Eventually.
So, what about Liverpool's fixtures? Uh, s- during this time when they have Mane and Salah missing,
Yes.
do they have any
They,
tough games?
their fixture was with Arsenal was postponed, but they are going through with their FA Cup match against Leighton Orient because they know that they could feel their under
See,
23
see,
team
that's
as well.
what I'm
That's
talking about.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
exactly.
talking about.
It
I
can't be
mean,
more
how is
blatant.
it that it cannot? Yeah, I mean, there's only the difference of 2 days between the two fixtures, right? So
exactly.
they're postponing that Arsenal game because Arsenal might beat them, and they're going forward with Leighton Orient because Liverpool could beat Leighton Orient with that B team. So I think Liverpool have Brentford on Sunday, that is 16th Jan, and then they've got Crystal Palace on 23rd Jan. And then they've got Leicester on 11th February, by which I feel Arsenal, Salah and Mane will be back. So
Yeah, they will be back.
they've
Two
only got
matches.
Crystal Palace and Brentford. Brentford were able to draw Liverpool
Yeah,
when they visited them. So I don't know if
yeah.
they'll be able to beat them. Crystal Palace, I think it will depend a lot on Conor Gallagher. I think he has been brilliant so far for
Oh
Crystal
yeah,
Palace. And yep, so I think Patrick Vieira has also done a great job, and I think if Conor Gallagher is back and Patrick Vieira has enough time to set up his Palace team, I think they might be able to force
yeah, good
Liverpool to
fight.
drop some
Yeah.
points. Yeah, they could put up a good fight. Yeah, so I think Liverpool's season will also depend on their players' availability. I think obviously you cannot rule out the kind of players that they have. Salah has been in great form. If his form continues, Liverpool could challenge up there. But again, it'll all depend on Manchester City's performance, because if they keep on winning the
Yeah,
way they have won their last 10 fixtures, I don't think
yeah.
it doesn't matter how Liverpool and Chelsea play, they will break away. Yep. So I think that's pretty much it. Let's talk about Chelsea now. Uh, I
The
I
man with
think
the
it
retro
was
shirt.
yeah, I think it was it was kind of expected of Chelsea where they are right now. I mean, the way season started, they were top of the table, not
Yeah,
conceding any goals, winning matches. But again, then the injuries and COVID and stuff. Obviously, they only have lost one match in the last 22 games in all competitions against West Ham 3-2. But there have been a lot of home draws, due to which
draws.
there is that gap between Manchester City and Chelsea. So, given the fact that Chelsea's the way they play, the way Thomas Tuchel sets Chelsea up, their wing backs play a very important role. Chilwell is out for the
Yeah.
season. Reece James is out for at least 2 months. How do we see Chelsea's season going?
I love the interval that Chelsea are having.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
yeah. So for me, what I feel personally, had these injuries not been there, I think Chelsea would have been up there with Manchester City. And it's not about injuries. I think it's about COVID as well. And Mateo Kovacic was having the season of his life. I mean, the kind of start that he had to the season was brilliant. He was the only problems that I had with Mateo Kovacic was his lack of contribution, lack of end product. The goals weren't there, the assists weren't there. Otherwise, his overall gameplay was brilliant. He got that this season as well. He was contributing to a goal, I think, in every 110 odd minutes. But then he got injured, and as soon as he recovered from his injury, he got COVID. Again, I think that was one major missing. N'Golo Conte was unfit. Then obviously I mean, Lukaku was there, Ben Chilwell was scoring goals, Reece James was scoring goals. We'll come to that Lukaku interview as well. But for me, what I feel is that, I mean, Chelsea season could. I mean, the kind of crisis, if you want to call that crisis, Lukaku's interview, the the injuries, the COVID. I think they are pretty much. I think they've come out of this crisis unharmed. Is what I would say. Only one loss in 22 games. They are still in the Capital One Cup. They are in the second place for the Premier League. They're going strong in the Champions League. FA Cup will start this week. Where do we see Chelsea's season going? Do you think they will be able to catch Manchester City, provided Manchester City's performance also goes down? We've recently come to know that City got a huge breakdown, huge outbreak of COVID cases. I think there's 7 or 8 players are down with COVID. Guardiola himself have got COVID. So given the fact, let's just assume that Manchester City start dropping points. Do you see Chelsea catching them?
Uh, I don't think that Chelsea. I don't see Chelsea catching them because they have drawn far too many games at their home. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
as you mentioned, the sort of injuries, and I haven't seen Chelsea that much, but the matches that I saw, as you mentioned it, I really liked how Kovacic was shaping up this season because he was like the pivotal one in the midfield.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, but I still think Chelsea are a bit of the all of the antics also that happened outside the field also.
yeah.
They do play a role in the dressing room. So yeah, so I think that Chelsea, they can contest. I think the next match is against Manchester City. That will tell us a lot about the Chelsea's mettle. If they do
Yeah,
beat Manchester City, that it can be a hot
I think they've
feisty
got a
race to the
chance.
end.
They've got a chance. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
all about momentum from there. I think if
momentum. Yeah,
they're able to somehow beat Manchester City, whenever their match is, I think on 15th or 16th of January, I think they have a very good chance of then
catching
going
them. Yeah, yeah.
catching up to Manchester City, and making the most of that momentum that they might get. Manchester City could also lose. They have could also lose some points. So I think it's not over as we see it right now. Obviously, we are watching Manchester City breaking away from the chasing pack, but
Do
that pack
what
could
Manchester
very
City
much.
does, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
shark team as they call them. So yeah, so I think it'll depend on Chelsea, who Chelsea get, because their wing backs are very essential to that Thomas Tuchel plays. Hudson-Odoi can play left wing back, but obviously then he won't be able to defend the way he has to. Christian Pulisic can play right wing back, but again he will have problems defending. Even their back line is, Trevor Chalobah sometimes plays right center back. Aspilicueta plays right center back. He got injured in the League Cup semi-final. Kai Havertz got COVID. Thiago Silva and N'Golo Conte have got COVID. So I don't know how this season is going to go for Chelsea, but I think it'll depend on their next fixture against Manchester City. Then Chelsea have to go to Club World Cup as well, so they will miss some games at that point of time as well. But I think this Club World Cup would be a welcome distraction. All these injuries, all the players who are missing out, might be able to come back, and they can, Chelsea can slowly integrate them back into that side, and then when they resume their Premier League duties, they might be able to, go on a run of winning some games. So I think that's pretty much it for Chelsea. I think it'll depend on the kind of signings that they do in this winter window. I think left wing back is a must. I think they will be able to, make do with a makeshift right wing back, or maybe with the change of system, because eventually Reece James will be back. But since Chilwell is out for the season, I think left wing back has to be a priority. Yeah.
You're expecting any signings, right?
I am expecting signings. I was just on Twitter before we started. Before we started this episode, there were rumors that they made a 16 million pound offer to Barcelona for Serginho Dest. So I don't know. I think he's a right wing back. I think he's a right wing back. I think I heard that, then people started saying that he can play left wing back as well. They are heavily linked to Luka Dean as well. I think he's out of favor with Rafa Benitez. So I think if we are able to get,
they have already signed a left back. Everton already signed a left back.
Yeah, Everton recently signed a left back. So I think if they get Dest and Digne for it doesn't matter the fee. If they are able to get them, I think they might be able to get back on track. Yeah. So talking about Manchester City now, guys. What do we even say about Manchester City? I think arguably the most well-run club in the Premier League. They spend the money, they get the right players. Their players don't throw tantrums like
the other half of the Manchester.
The way we saw with Romelu Lukaku and obviously Manchester United. I mean, how is this happening? Obviously, their chairman. I mean, their owners have whole experience of running a whole countries. Running a football club is no big deal to them. But still, I mean, how do they do it every time? If they win the league, this will be their third successive Premier League. What makes them different? What makes them so different to the other 19 clubs?
Absolutely.
I'd love the red half to explain the blue half.
Yeah, let's start with Shivan.
That's a very cruel thing to say, but yeah, it's okay. So as Sujit already mentioned, their owners, their chiefs, all of them, they have the experience of running the whole country. A state-owned club like PSG also has a state-owned club. It's a state-owned club, and Manchester City as well from UAE. So that absolute, the immaculate positions which they want the players for, the management, the right choice of keeping the managers at what position, all the chiefs like the CEO, all the footballing people over there, and guiding lights from the assistants as well, and giving their valuable inputs to the team, to the staff. These all tick the right boxes for running a successful football club, not just in the Premier League, as you mentioned, but I think they are a very well-run club among all the major European clubs as well, barring FC Bayern, obviously. So
Bayern is a sneaky club.
I get that.
Bayern does some shady shit, which I'm not a fan of.
They get to Bayern Munich.
Shades of 2012.
Bayern does some shady shit. Absolutely. I mean, doesn't matter. Bayern Munich is not as well run a club as Manchester City.
Yeah.
I mean, they do a lot of shady shit, which I'm not a fan of. But let's not talk about Bayern Munich right now. Let's talk about. Let's stick to Manchester City.
So I don't even see a point of getting into the details like what will happen in the next matches for City and all that. Like, dude, they're a machine. They're going on steamrolling through the teams in the Premier League and going on for the next title. So it's just like that. They have the manager at the helm who's going to win his next title, and most probably in a year or two he might be actually giving up his position. So till that time, he's maximizing all the avenues he has, and he's about to finish the title race for the second successive season without a recognized striker on the pitch. Like
Yeah, man.
Gabriel Jesus was the only striker in the squad, and he used to play on the right wing also in some
The right
games.
wing.
Exactly, in the left side of the midfield. Sometimes you see Bernardo Silva, a makeshift midfielder, into the number 9 position, like the false 9. Sometimes you have Phil Foden there. Sometimes Jack Grealish playing there. So it's a mixture of so many combinations of permutations these players play in the positions, and somehow they're still successful. I mean, it's frustrating from the perspective of a United fan, but I don't really have the words to say, like, they don't do anything wrong as well. They are just
Yeah, you have to
playing
appreciate it.
exactly. They play such a beautiful football out there, and I don't see how they can, surrender this amount of lead. Like, they have the 8 points lead over Liverpool if they win their game in hand. So 8 points lead in the starting of January, and we have still 4 or 5 months to go. Half of the season is still there, and I don't know if Liverpool or Chelsea is going to like challenge them for the title this year. It's I think it's decided, though it's very early, but I still think it's decided this year for this year.
All right, all right. So, but talking about their tactics, I mean, Guardiola is always in whichever club he has been, he has gone with a 4-3-3 with inverted wing backs. Now that is something that is very very unique. It's that the two center backs and one for their defensive midfielder sits in front of them, and the two wing backs, they invert, making it a
Midfielder.
midfield three, and the front three, the attacking midfielders and the front three strikers. It's like a house of cards, that one, two, it's like a triangle.
Triangle
And
bent
these,
on another triangle. Yeah,
absolutely, there's a triangle inside the other triangle, and it's
exactly.
always that, that very small combinations. One player is always available for the other player to receive the ball.
Yeah,
The small triangles in every area of the pitch. So I think this is how Guardiola has been setting his teams up since almost a decade now. Why is it so easy for him to do this at every club? Is it because of the resources? Is he really a checkbook manager? I mean, but obviously you can spend any amount of money, but money doesn't guarantee you trophies.
of
And
course.
it's very important to manage the kind of players that money gets you. If you're getting 60 million pound players, they won't be able to play 50 or 60 games throughout the season. I mean, some Sterling sits on the bench. Jack Grealish is a 100 million pound
Yeah,
player. He has been
he
sitting
sits
on
on
the
the
bench
bench.
for the last couple of games, or I think a good number of games. So
Yeah,
I mean, I think credit goes to Manchester City, the way
elite.
they run their club. I think they have a very good plan going forward. I think Manchester City will be the club to beat for a lot of
Quite a
coming
long
seasons.
time. Yeah.
They're coming for everybody.
It'll depend on, I think. Well, let's just see how Newcastle shapes up. I mean, Newcastle is also a state-owned club now. Their
Yeah,
owners have experience of running countries. It'll be interesting to see how they run Newcastle, but that is, I think, still 3-4 years away
It's a
before
long
they.
way.
yeah, good
It's a
three,
long
four
way.
years.
Yeah,
Away.
And
but for 3-4 years
what about
do
if
we
they get
see
relegated now?
City.
They'll
They're
come
sitting
back.
We'll
in.
come to
They'll
that.
come.
We'll come to that. We'll
Right.
come to that. But yeah, Manchester City, winning leagues without a recognized striker is something
It's
that
ominous for the
is.
league
I
now.
mean, yeah. All right. So let's talk about the clubs that we thought would be in the top four before the
I
season
see
started,
where
and
you're
I'm
going.
talking
Yeah.
about obviously Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United, since they
Manchester.
are part of that traditional big six. Not Tottenham, not because I think they changed the code. Nuno Espirito Santo wasn't expected. There
Hmm.
wasn't anything expected much out of him, but there was lot of expectations from Manchester United, given the
Yeah,
fact that how they ended their last season, second place, Europa League runners up. Then they signed, obviously, arguably the greatest goal scorer in the history of this football, in the history of this game, and
defender as
arguably
well.
the yeah,
Greatest
the
player.
one of the greatest defenders, arguably one of the greatest young players, and one of the greatest players of all time, arguably.
Yeah,
Everything, yeah. So where have things gone wrong for Manchester United now?
yeah. The floor is all yours, Shivan.
Yeah, Shivang, we'll just rest now, rest our rest our sore throats. You can take
Absolutely right.
your time.
I
we are
expect a
we
rant.
we would love, yeah. I mean, same, expecting a very good rant
No,
about
the
the
rant
current
isn't the
situation.
way to go now. It's still like they have changed the managers in the mid-season, and the new manager who has
No,
come.
but talk us through the
Yes.
beginning. Talk us from
Yeah.
let's take
What
us
were
back
your
to that four.
expectations?
Yeah, take us. Yeah, what were your expectations? And after the first match, that 4-1 thumping of Leeds, talk us. Let's take it from the very
It was
beginning.
5-1 basically.
5-1.
Oh,
Okay,
5-1. Yeah.
Yeah,
shit.
and that was
It
the
was
best game
5-1.
of the season. Yeah, for United, that was
Yeah,
the best game of the season.
let's take it back to there.
What
Let's
were your
start from the very
emotions?
start. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, like
Let's take a start from before the season started. What were your expectations after the first two matches? Signing of Cristiano Ronaldo, how things went from there. We want to know it all.
Everything.
how it went downhill,
Yeah.
you mean, right? So absolutely, after 3 years, almost 3 years of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, so the team was building up, and all the expectations within the club and outside, also the fans, the people who love the sport, who support United, they were all expecting at least a team who was capable of challenging the top two, top three teams in the country, like giving a serious amount of title challenge. So I don't see how we were about to go about the season. Like before signing Cristiano, we had Sancho and Varane backed up. And the first game, as I mentioned, Leeds game, 5-1 game, that was not arguably, but actually the best game of the season for Man United. They had their fluid attack in that game. They had all the, all the puzzles, all these crossword puzzles figured out in that game, and they were playing at their level best. Even though there was McTominay, Fred in the midfield, Pogba also playing on the left, Daniel James, who's still not at the club now, Greenwood in the striking partnership with him, and all other factors counted in. So they were playing a good amount of football, good quality of football, like they had to. But exactly now we see signing of Cristiano, the re-signing of Cristiano, in fact, and then just after the Newcastle game, all went downhill when they lost to Young Boys in the Champions League. That was a very, very unexpected turn of events for United. But then people, in the boardroom as well, they started losing belief in the manager again. I don't see how the manager was all at fault for the whole downhill thing, all the form of United's whole fiasco. But still, again, we come to see the player power in these days in the modern football, that if a certain player, a certain egoistic, or the star player of our
No,
team.
but Ole has been criticized a lot for his tactical flexibility. I mean, neither the fans. I mean, the fans sometimes somewhat knew that he's not as good tactically as some of his counterparts.
Exactly, he's
I think
inept.
we saw that clip of Cristiano Ronaldo making fun of his tactics after the Liverpool match when they conceded that fifth goal against Liverpool. So I think he might not have been entirely at fault, but I think he was somewhat out of his depth.
Majority of the fault lies with the manager, as in any game, in any club. It's sure the buck has to stop somewhere, and it lies with the manager only. And the one who gets the sack is the manager, not the players, not the the club chief sitting above him. But yeah, again, the manager was not entirely at fault. There are so many players, who are not willing to even get that I don't know if I can describe it properly. Like, they're not even willing to play their heart out at the field. They're not even going to do that for the team. They're not there for the badge. Exactly, like the players who used to play
which players do you think these are? Which players
there are a lot of them, but especially the English core of the team is like the Luke Shaw is there, Harry Maguire is there, even Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I don't know what he's been doing. He can't even cross the ball. He tried crossing the ball when Cristiano, ran like 30-40 meters apart from saving the throw in, and he then tried crossing the ball and it straight went out for the goal kick. So I don't even know what they're doing there. Diego Dalot, who spent a year in Milan on loan, who has been Mourinho's signing but hasn't been an active part of the squad like in his 2 to 3 years here in the club, is playing much better quality of football than the current right back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And even Luke Shaw's replacement, Alex Telles, was there. He was also playing a better quality of football than Luke Shaw. And I don't see how, Harry Maguire was made the captain of the squad, of the team. I mean,
dreadful season he's having.
Apart from being English, what qualities does he have to become the captain of the club, which he just joined like 2 or 3 years ago? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer makes him the captain. There are so many better suited players to be the captain of the team, the leaders, which the young players also can look forward to. And I don't see, I'm lost of words right now, because after the appointment of Ralph Ragnick also, we had this hopes like there will be a new manager bounce, and then we can see some of the gegenpressing, which we all talked about so much about on the social media platforms, in the English media, so much hype about the fact that he was the supposed, or I can say, alleged mentor of so many successful clubs, successful coaches in the clubs in England. Yeah, Thomas Tuchel, Jurgen Klopp, even Nagelsmann in Bayern. So they have been inspired by his tactics, by his work. So that's fine. But those words need to be translated into actions on the pitch, right? So you need that some kind of thing to transpire into the facts that they are going to play, the style of play, the identity that he carries from his old clubs, his old technical roles to the field, and then imply those ideas in the team and make sure that the team performs accordingly. But again, we are seeing so much unrest in the club. Like there have been so many reports and rumors, like there are so many dissatisfied players. If reports are to be believed, it's almost 17 from the squad, 17 players from the squad who are still not convinced that he is the right person to be in the job, even though he's just an interim manager. We know there will be a new manager in the summer, and I'm not sure what these players, if they are there in the summer, and what they'll do with the new manager as well. I mean, I still remember vividly that Roy Keane, at the time of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, said when he was appointed that they are the same players, like Paul Pogba was involved during the time of Jose Mourinho, so many other players. So he vividly said that these are the same players who threw Jose Mourinho under the bus that time. They'll do the same with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and they are doing almost the same with Ralph Rangnick, even though he's just there for 6 months and then he'll move upstairs for the consultancy role. So I mean, I don't know where the buck stops in this club, and we all know how poorly this club is run. Right from the top, the owners, they're not interested. The chiefs, like Ed Woodward, who has recently been asked to step down from his position, and we'll have a new CEO, Richard Arnold, who has been announced today. So all of these things, they need to be in a proper accordance. Like, look at the right half of your neighbors, the blue half of the Manchester clubs. Like how are they playing? What's the style of play? How aggressively they go into the transfer market, signing the exact amount of players or exact quality of players which they need. Like Joe Cancelo, according to me, was the best signing of last season. I mean, he has been a revelation this season. He has been pitching in with the goals, with the assists, even when he's defending. All these things, they tick the right boxes. So I don't see how United go on signing players. They want a center back, they go for the overpriced fridge in England. They want a left back, they want a right back, they're all English. And I don't know what to make out of it. And we're also being linked with Declan Rice for 100 million from West Ham. So I'm not sure what will happen to the club. I mean, I'm seriously tired of all these nonsense,
$1 million question.
Yeah.
$1 million question. Do you think signing Ronaldo was the right thing to do this summer? What is your opinion on it?
We had the same question, right?
One of the most important question.
No, it wasn't. But then he has been pitching in with the goals, and that's why we're still competing. And David Egg has been pitching with the saves. That's why we're still at 6th or 7th. We might have has been in the this bottom half of the table. We don't know, if not for David Aggia saves in the games, crucial games, save against the.
Do you think that Ronaldo is in the problem in this team? There are bigger problems than him.
There are almost obviously bigger problems than Cristiano.
Had Cristiano Ronaldo not been signed,
yeah,
obviously I think United would have been much higher up in the table.
No, then again, no. That remains to be seen on the fact that who was going to score the goals. I mean, if Cristiano was not there, Greenwood most probably playing at the number 9 position.
Rashford, who knows? I mean, Sancho
Rashford,
would have
Greenwood,
contributed. He scored just 1 goal so far.
I know Cristiano is one of the problems.
Cavani, I think the only reason Cavani was given a contract extension because nobody was expecting Cristiano Ronaldo.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had pre-season, and he had made plans with his squad without Cristiano Ronaldo. Absolutely. Signing Cristiano Ronaldo changed everything for him. He then had to build a team around Cristiano Ronaldo. When he dropped Cristiano Ronaldo for that one particular match, I think it was in the Champions League.
No, in the Premier League.
Sir Alex Ferguson, Gary Neville, all of them just
came down heavily on
Oregon. That why are you leaving out your best player? So what if I have to say, if what I feel is that had Manchester United not signed Cristiano Ronaldo, they would have been in a much better position right now, what as they are currently, compared to what they are in the kind of situation that they are currently, and Solskjaer might still have had his job.
No, exactly your point. I mean, it goes to say that the player, the manager was there, but the ones who make the decision of signing players, the people above him, they made the decision to sign Cristiano Ronaldo.
But
Leaving
that
out
was under
Cristiano,
influence as well. That was under influence of all these past players. I mean, Rio
Rio
Ferdinand
Ferdinand,
had said
yeah,
that I
Sir
called
Alex.
Cristiano Ronaldo, how can you go to Manchester City? You should come to Manchester United, not realizing what it would mean for the current group of players. And Ronaldo has
Because
very high
they
standards.
finished second
He's
last
a very
season, man.
demanding player. He's a very demanding player. If he's not eating dessert, then he will not allow anyone else to eat dessert in the club. He has, and if you are not playing at the quality which he expects you to play, he will go after you. And that was seen after that.
But
I
then
think after that, after that Watford game, after that Liverpool game,
Watford,
Cristiano
Liverpool,
Ronaldo
yeah.
walked straight down the tunnel. He did not applaud the fans, which put a lot of pressure on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in turn. Now, had that not happened, had Ronaldo been not at the club, I don't think United could have been any worse.
They would have been in the same position because it was all the way coming down from all these past seasons as well. Because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was not the right man to go for the job which was there. It was
But he was
always above him.
stabilizing the club, man.
Yeah,
Stabilizing a
the
club
DNA
means like
was the DNA of that. The
okay,
DNA
the
of the club
DNA,
was coming back.
yeah, exactly.
They were playing the
Yeah, you should
United
not use
way
the
with
word
the
DNA
fast,
there.
fast
No,
wingers.
no. Don't
But
use the word
that's
DNA.
what matters.
It doesn't matter anymore. We are in the modern football era now. We can't use the ones which we used in 80s and 90s and 2000s. It's gone. Nobody can even win the Premier League for 3 times in a row. United was the last club to do it.
City are going to
City won't win it 3 times. No, how?
This would be their third
2020.
time.
No, it won't be. Liverpool won in 20, 21 City, 22 City.
Yeah,
How?
20
Liverpool won in 18-19.
No,
This
no,
is
2020.
1920.
They won in
1920
2020.
Liverpool won.
Yeah,
1920
1920 was,
Liverpool won.
yeah, it was
Shit.
Liverpool. Then 2 years it will be Man City. 3-peat is still,
Okay.
it's still with the great man. But anyways, Cristiano Ronaldo is just one thing which we are talking about, and like he's the problem. He's the thing which is like
No,
I'm not
disorganizing
saying
the
he's the
club.
problem.
but I think he is. He has to be the problem.
But there are bigger problems than Cristiano. It's more important to emphasize on the fact
See,
that
that is the problem. If you have Cristiano Ronaldo in your team, then you have to play a certain ways that Ronaldo gets adequate service.
then they don't have the players to
No,
exactly
that's what I'm
execute that
saying.
plan.
No, that's what I'm saying. Now Ralph Rangnick has come in, and as you said, that 17 players in the club feel that he's just a German Tony Pulis. Yeah, he's
I don't
not
even know
what
Tony Pulis, but anyways, okay.
Stoke City. He was Stoke City's manager, man. He was
The figure, myth, the legend.
Brexit. He was the father of
The OG.
Brexit. He was the father of Brexit football. If Ragnick is the
Big
father
Bre-
of gegenpressing, he was the father of
Big Brexit lad.
Brexit
Yeah,
kind of
right,
football
right.
with long balls forward to the striker.
Oh,
But if
Peter
those
Crouch in
17 players
Stoke. Yeah, I
feel,
remember.
yes, absolutely. So if those 17 players feel that he's just another German Tony Pulis or a German Marco Bielsa, who is way overrated, what I feel,
Yeah.
then how does Ronaldo being in the team help? If Ronaldo is not scoring goals, then he's not contributing with anything.
Different
Well,
question, Shivang. What do you think about the whining of the players that Gary Neville also mentioned?
exactly.
That
There's the
Gary
pride in
Neville,
this.
Gary Neville, I feel that Gary Neville is brainwashing Manchester United fans.
He needs
The
to stop
agenda-
coming on the television. Exactly. He needs to
I
sit at
think
home.
he's wrong about a lot of things. I don't
Everything.
think
He's
I-
wrong about
I don't
everything.
think the owners deserve as much stick as they get. I mean, okay, it's okay if they are running the club from a business point of view, they are taking money, but they are getting quality players as well. I mean, 80 million. Who would spend 80 million pounds on a
English
centre back?
English fridge.
If I mean that was Solskjaer signing the owner. That was not the owner
they
signing.
sanctioned the money.
Owner backed Solskjaer fully with 80 million pounds for this
Harry Maguire.
50 million pounds for Van Bissaka, or I don't know, 57 or 60 million pounds for Bruno Fernandes. And I think this is Neville's agenda that he's got with the owners. I think they might be bad, but they are not as bad as Gary Neville makes them out to be. Similar thing goes for Arsenal's owners. I mean, AFTV chat a lot of shit about their owners. They might be bad, but they've invested in the club as well. So
this time, yeah.
But that's more, this time they've invested. United's owners have been investing since Louis van Gaal's era. I mean, Morgan Schneiderlin, Enkel Di Maria, Radamel Falcao, Bastian
Right.
Schweinsteiger.
They
Schweinsteiger.
are
played.
all, they're all the victims of wrong recruitment. I'm saying this is what is wrong with the club. They don't know
But those were
players to recruit.
all of these players were
They're,
Van Gaal's
do you ever know which ones,
players.
which players Van Gaal wanted in the first place? Do you
Van
know?
Gaal played with Daley Blind in Netherlands. He played
Yeah,
with Schweinsteiger in Bayern.
he signed them. Yeah.
Yeah, but
But
obviously, I
Pep
mean, it's
Guardiola
not
didn't
that.
play.
He must
Pep
have
Guardiola
sanctioned.
didn't play with not Sergio Aguero, but with Jack Grealish, or not with other players like Kyle Walker.
Yeah, but
He didn't play
that's
with
what I said. They have
Mendy.
identified. They
There were so many
identified the
players.
players. They identified Jack Grealish when
Harry Kane's
who was
transfer
this?
failed, right?
Harry Kane's transfer. No, not Harry Kane's. When they knew that it was evident that
Silva.
Sergio Aguero was going to leave. Sergio Aguero was going to leave. David Silva was going to leave. They identified Harry Kane and Jack Grealish, that they were going to get them for 100 million each, and they chased after them. They got Jack Grealish, but they didn't get Harry Kane. Doesn't matter. They are still winning the Premier League 8 points clear. I'm talking about Manchester United. This is what I feel, that the owners are not as bad as Gary Neville portrays them to
Do you
be.
not understand that they're fundamentally flawed? Which from top to bottom there is a rot which cannot be severed in a few months, in a few years. They need so much of
Yeah, it
time.
is
They
a
need
big.
exact amount of
I experience it, bro. There is
exactly.
a big. Yeah, my club still has that rot, and we are just
But
fixing. We are in the process of
yeah,
fixing
you are
that rot.
at least in the process of fixing. You are getting the deadwood out. We still have players Juan Mata, Nemanja Matic. I mean, Matic is still playing starting games for United now, but Juan Mata, Donny van der Beek, he hasn't started even a single game. Now, what is going on with the club? They signed him for 40 million.
Whose signing was Donny van der Beek?
That was Manchester United.
That
signing,
were
not
Manchester
Ole
United,
Gunnar
not
But
Ole
he's
Gunnar
been
Solskjaer.
average. He's been average.
Because he hasn't been given a chance in a run in the
hasn't
team. He
played,
hasn't
man.
started, man.
He got some chances. He got some chances during the end of last season. He was bang average.
No, you don't.
But how can you start Van de Beek in front of ahead of Bruno Fernandes? You cannot start.
I understand that, but again, they wanted Jack Grealish in the first place.
And the way Pogba plays for France. Jack Grealish would have played on the left. If they had signed Jack Grealish, then Marcus Rashford would have not played as much as they would have liked him to be, and he was an established first team player. Jadon Sancho would have played on the right. Mason Greenwood and Edinson Cavani would have been the players up top.
I'm still confused about the role of these players. Marcus Rashford also, he has had his injuries. He has a share of recovery also after the injury. He's playing so poorly. I mean, I don't even know. He can't even pass the ball to the
like a shadow
right winger.
Of this player.
Shadow. I mean, I think the striker who used to be
there
there.
Are a lot of underperforming.
Nicholas Bender from Arsenal. Right? Nicholas Bender from Arsenal used to play better football than Marcus Rashford, what he's playing right now. So
a lot of players are underperforming, right?
Absolutely.
But Marcus Rashford is feeding children. How are you slandering him?
I don't want the NGOs coming up to our video and then commenting down and writing mean things over there. So it's okay. Let's move on from that point. Feeding children and then Indian Sono Sood version.
Okay, so let's.
What do you think? Sushen, just hold on. What do you think? What will solve Manchester United problems in the coming years?
Nothing.
Right now?
I just have one word. Nothing. Nothing is going to happen this season.
You're talking to the king of nothingness.
Exactly.
But I still saw hope. I mean, I think you must have.
I think you didn't put on the right spectacles, Gurjot. Where did you see this hope? I mean, what happened there? There must be some confusion there.
It's the hope that kills, man. It's the hope that kills.
Yeah, I understand coming from an Arsenal fan, but that's okay.
But do you think that a change of manager in the summer, the sort of manager, suppose if Pochettino arrives at Manchester United, do you think that he can change the fortunes of the club?
No manager can do anything
2 years
till they don't have a proper football structure in place in the club, a proper set of players who are willing to play for the football. They don't even.
Is here, that's why.
Ralph Rangnick is there for the.
There.
Yeah. Now let's see what happens after this season concludes, and then we'll see who's the manager. There is no clarity if who's the prospective manager. There are rumors about.
Do you see Ronaldo staying at the end of the season? Do you see Ronaldo staying at the end after
United doesn't finish in the top
there's
four?
A Champions League? Yeah, if there's a Champions League in place, then he might be. But I still think it would be better if he would be, joining PSG. He will be joining PSG most probably if Kylian Mbappe completes.
From a United fan, man.
Exactly. I mean,
be dead after this interview, man. This video, sorry.
He won't even publish this video,
This is shocking. This is
the truth, man. I can't say anything else. This is the truth. And truth is shocking. I don't know what else. I mean, what else I can make of it.
I've seen many Manchester United fans on Twitter. They say that Ronaldo is not the problem. Ronaldo is the one that is saving the club from
He's
disgraceful
scoring the
positions that
goals,
they.
yeah.
Yeah,
But again, he's just
that's
part of the problem.
it's
Exactly.
apples
Pros
and
and cons.
oranges with
Right.
Ronaldo.
Absolutely. You can't just go on and
What
think
hope?
of
Okay,
scoring
what
goals.
hopes do you have from United
I
this
don't
season?
even know,
Where do you
man.
see
I
them?
don't know.
Where
I
do you
don't
see
know.
them? Where do you see them finishing? Do
I
you see
would
them
wish
getting
At least
top
the
four?
top six.
I would wish if they finish below 6th, 7th place so that they don't have any distraction with the Europa League. Or no, 1 minute. They have
Yeah,
Europa
it does
Conference
play
League,
a
no?
role, man.
They have a Europa
Yeah,
Conference League. For which position do they play?
I
Seventh.
think top
Oh.
7.
Then they should finish
if
below 7. Yeah, I need to correct my statement. They should finish below 7.
Yeah,
If they
Arsenal
don't make the
not
top
being
4.
in Europe is also having a
It's a
massive
blessing. It's a
effect.
blessing in
Yeah,
disguise. Seriously.
because we
Antonio
have the whole
Conte.
week to prepare.
Antonio Conte won the league with Chelsea without any distraction.
Yeah,
He is going to do the
exactly.
same thing in a year or two with not Tottenham, but maybe if
And come
another
on,
club he goes
it's
there.
Spurs, man. It's Spurs.
It's lads, it's
They
Tottenham.
always Spurs it up.
Yeah, let's come to Spurs now.
Yeah,
Antonio Conte unbeaten in Premier League so far, keeping the doors shut as well as he does very well. Where do we see Tottenham going?
yeah. I think they're the closest
Harry Kane
rival.
also finding his form. Harry Kane also finding his form. Where do we see Tottenham going?
1 goal,
I
2
think
goal in a
for
month.
me, I think they're the closest rivals, and West Ham United as well. I think they're the closest rivals for top 4. I think but I think it will take time. But I do think they have enough players to challenge for a top 4 position, and I think it will be a feisty
It'll be
race.
down to Arsenal, West Ham, and Spurs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Most probably.
it will be down to that.
But West Ham will eventually run out of steam. I've been saying this from the beginning, I know. But
yeah, they will.
Yeah.
They have Europa League as well. They have FA Cup.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they will
Europa.
run out of steam.
Exactly. So
They should not have won against Chelsea as well. Chelsea conceded 2 very freak own goals.
Masuaku goal.
Yeah, freak goals. They were, and Chelsea again. Chelsea are still underperforming their expected goals even after spending 200 million pounds in attack.
Because they haven't been the same, after facing Michael Carrick. So yeah, it happens to clubs like that.
Absolutely.
1 win in the 5 games. It happens,
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyways,
Absolutely.
let's go on to the relegation zone then. The last 3 clubs, the
Who do we
bottom
see?
3.
Let's talk about Newcastle first. I think
relegated.
they are going to. I don't see them getting relegated. They are going to get some signings and then they might stay.
Signing Kieran Trippier. No?
Kieran Trippier is going to take them out of relegation.
Tottenham's problem. Newcastle's problem has been the kind of goals that they've been conceding. If they're able to patch that leak at the back, I think they might get enough points for safety.
I think Maximan is also out for AFCON. I think no, he's French.
They have they have injuries.
French.
Maximan. There is this another striker.
Wilson also injured, I guess.
Yeah, Callum Wilson is injured. So they are looking at Marshall also. There were rumors flying around.
They're looking at Aubameyang also.
Yeah, Aubameyang is exactly. Yeah. So
they're
all
looking
these
at Luca
players.
Digne also.
They're looking at everyone.
Looking at everybody.
Exactly. They have the money. They have the resources. They'll go for everyone. I hope they sign Jesse Lingard and Van de Beek also.
Yeah, I think Norwich. I think is everybody's pick to go down. Norwich
They are not expected. Yeah, exactly. They are like 20th, and Newcastle and Burnley. I think in the last 3, right? Still, Burnley has 2 games in hand. They have 2 games in hand in the above team.
But I think Leeds might get relegated.
Well, if they continue with the
Leeds,
way they
I think Leeds will still have that much in them to just
scrap
stay
off
up.
away.
But what about Watford?
Norwich. I think Norwich did get a few good results when they signed. Then when they appointed this new manager.
Just the 2 matches.
Dean Smith
started. Yeah.
Dean Smith. Yeah.
They could have won the game against United though. They could have. They gave a soft penalty.
David De Gea pulled off.
A blinder of the game again. So yeah, they could have won that game as well. Norwich is sure to get relegated. They don't have. I think they have 11 points out of their games. Yeah. Then
Southampton might stay up. They have some good players.
So you are tipping Burnley to go down instead of Southampton. but
I'm
then
tipping
And
again,
Leeds to go
Burnley as
down. I'm tipping Leeds to go
you
down.
want Leeds to go down. You're not tipping them
Yes, it's a
because you
No,
don't
no,
like the
I want
manager.
Leeds go to the. I want Leeds to go down, and they will go down.
They're
Marco
a very exciting
Bielsa.
club. They
Why
give
are
you
they an exciting club?
they give you an end-to-end football match. You know, Man United beat them with 5 goals, so you get
Yeah, so
Seven
excitement in there.
how can you call that an end-to-end football match? That was it's a one-sided football match. If one team is scoring 5 goals, how can it be an
It's
end-to-end?
because they were attacking and then they
End-to-end
found
was Chelsea
spaces.
versus Liverpool. That happened 2-2. Both of those teams had an expected goals. One team had an expected goals of 1.66. The other had 1.68. Match ended 2-2. Chelsea could have won had they been more clinical. Pulisic had been more clinical, and had
Yeah.
Mane been sent off. But that's a different conversation. Leeds. I don't think they'll
The
stay up.
elbow.
Yeah,
You don't want them
Leeds
to stay
not.
up. That's okay.
Yeah.
He's Marco Bielsa. He's way too stubborn. He thinks himself as a footballing revolutionary, teacher to Klopp, a teacher to Guardiola and whatnot. But
Everyone, right?
Roy Hodgson is way clear of him.
These
He's just
teachers
a.
are not performing these days.
You are just no. Majority of the people rep Marco Bielsa because he's Latin. That's why hipster Yardas just
I hope there are no Latin subscribers or the
I don't know
viewers
what should I
to
even call
this
them, but
video.
some hipsters just rep Marco Bielsa because he's Latin and he sits on the bucket. He sits in a certain way that he has been sitting for the last 20 years. That's why he's some footballing genius. But Roy Hodgson is clear of them. I would pick Roy Hodgson any day over Marco Bielsa.
Why not Big Sam? Even Big Sam is better.
Even Big Sam.
He saves teams from relegation. Come on.
But I think he couldn't save West Brom last season.
Yeah,
but
the last time.
Yeah,
he's
way better.
Right.
It's just that Latin tax helping him. Otherwise, he's no good. Then
there is English tax. There is Latin tax. There are so many taxes.
English tax is for the player. Latin tax is
for the managers.
Right. Yeah.
Nice.
That's how it is. Yep. So I think Leeds, Norwich, and
Newcastle. Say it, Newcastle.
Newcastle. I don't.
Come on. I want them to be relegated. Now I want them to be relegated. Like you want.
Why do you want them?
That goes.
They'll come back the next season.
They will come back next season. Yeah. With the MBS
Newcastle will surely come back. Even if they get relegated, they will come back next season.
No, that's for sure. But they'll find difficulty in attracting players. No. Come on.
We'll see.
Championship players,
if they're offering enough money, no one would mind playing one season in championship.
Oh, come on.
Ruben Neves also signed for Wolves when they won League One, I guess, and he was in Porto.
Yeah, Ruben Neves, another midfielder.
It will depend on their sporting director. I think there are a lot of factors. Even if Newcastle get relegated, I think they will be able to sign quality players who will help them immediately next season. But that remains to be seen. But I think we are sure of.
I hope they sign Jesse Lingard. At least Jesse Lingard.
And Donny van de Beek and
absolutely
Luke Shaw.
And
take Harry Maguire for free, man. Take Harry Maguire for free. That's a free offer.
How you have to be behind your players? How are you throwing players under the bus? You are no.
Yeah, like they throw their managers under the bus. I'm throwing the players under the bus. It's a karmic cycle. That's how karma works. So it's so simple. I don't know what's so difficult to understand there.
You are like Tally Mode's Paul Pogba. you are throwing your players under the. That is
Let's take that out. The geographical locations of people. Let's take them out of the
way. Shit. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right. I think we've discussed a lot, and I think
it was a fun episode.
Fun episode after
Enriching.
a long time. I just hope that we are a little more consistent in bringing out the episodes in the future, but yeah, that remains to be seen. A lot of factors contribute to it, but I think that's pretty much it. What we feel, how the second half of the Premier League season is going to play out. I think Europe will play a huge part in that. FA Cup will play a huge part in that. For Chelsea, Club World Cup will play a huge part in that. As far as the Premier League's title challenge is concerned, Manchester City look to be clear favorites. Depending on how Chelsea and Liverpool catch up, we might get to see a little bit of excitement towards the end of the season. But as things stand, Manchester City could very well be clear of their chasing pack. As far as how things look down below at the bottom. Norwich is what we feel will be certainly relegated. I think Leeds might also get relegated. Newcastle, Burnley, everyone is in the mix. It'll it'll be we'll see how things go, but yeah, I think if everything goes well, if COVID is not does not get out of hands, we certainly hope that football doesn't stop as it did during the
Yeah.
1920 season. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. City for the title is how it seems so far. Depends on how Chelsea and Liverpool are able to catch up. Norwich will surely go down. It'll be interesting to see with who the other two teams are. Yeah, guys. I think anything else to add, guys? I think
No, I think that's pretty
Yeah.
much
pretty
it.
much
Yeah,
done,
Summed
right?
it
we
up
covered
perfectly.
everything
Summed it up. Yeah, we'll come
for a
back.
month or two.
We'll come back in a month or two. In a month or two, yeah. We'll try to we'll try to come back in a month or two. We'll try to preview the round of 16 of the Champions League.
Yeah.
That is what's most exciting, and we might talk about the Club World Cup as well. It's not something that all of us would be interested in, give other than Chelsea fans. But yeah, we'll see. But we'll surely be coming back for the preview of the round of 16. So that's pretty much it, guys. We hope you keep safe amidst the rising cases. We hope that things don't go out of hand as they did last year, and we hope that we continue to get regular football, and we hope that we continue to record regular episodes and get them out. Yeah. So that's pretty much it.